It's not easy to train salespeople and have them deliver high results all the time. I'm really happy with outsourcing versus full-time employees that don't work out or work out for a year and then tail off. So I'm really glad to have this relationship. I believe the value is there, and it's an easy cost to justify as the leads convert. Yeah, so I think this is a real strong opportunity for two world-class organizations to go out there and conquer and win. I'm excited about the opportunities that we have in front of us now, and we're closing them. So they're giving us some great leads. This is going to be a great opportunity to succeed with Arsenal. My name's Tom Hogue. I'm the owner of Elevated MSP. We're a Pennsylvania-based company, and we've been around since 2003. I've been with Arsenal for more than a year, I think coming up on about a year and a half now so far. I heard about Arsenal because they called me. So I guess that I can be counted as proof to their calling efforts and follow-ups. And yeah, they got me to answer, and I don't usually take phone calls. I'm pretty good at screening and hanging up, but they did a great job of getting through to me and then following up until I finally gave them a chance to win me over and teach me about their product. So I've had experience with sales companies in the past that was quite abysmal. They weren't even close to representing what my product was, and I would listen to the recordings afterwards, after months of training them, and I was really disheartened. So I said no to outsource call companies, tried to hire internal salespeople. That's always, fun's not the right word, challenging and fruitless and a colossal waste of money. So I'm an owner-led sales team right now, which I don't love, and I tried to hand it off and try making the cold calls myself and knocking on doors. And it's quite exhausting unless you have a team out there pulling for you. So I decided to give it one more chance with an outsourced company, and Arsenal's proven to be pretty reliable and a great decision on my part. So I did have a rough start at Arsenal, and you know, they quickly remedied that and explained that sometimes you need a different salesperson making those calls and those dials. And I respect the fact that you got to train new people, and I'd rather that not be on my accounts, right? So when they put some seasoned folks back in and started doubling down to make up missed call opportunities or missed metrics, they've really been hitting it out of the park recently, especially the last 8-10 months. So it was good to see them turn around, own the fact that they were falling short, and then really double up on their efforts. And then, of course, I had to get back in on my side as well. So this is, I would say, a little shared responsibility. Internally, I was trying to train another resource to be our salesperson after the calls were set up. I had to jump back in. I'm probably better at it and more suited for that position. So it's definitely a shared responsibility on our part. So the communication is really good from Mason and Christian, and they're sending us leads. Again, they're starting to vet out more intentionally the people that we would like as a good fit for us, our ideal client, and ask the right questions rather than just a stop in and visit to shake a hand. They're finding need and pain and bringing those customers our way. So I'd say the leads went from cold to warm, and that's really helpful in our success. Also, I need to do more time, spend more time training these resources that are making the phone calls. They're doing everything they can with the knowledge they have about our product. I can continue to educate them about how Elevated is different than even other MSPs. So I'd say the strengths of Arsenal are the calling. I mean, just the personal touch. They seem pretty relaxed when I listen to the phone calls, and they're not pressing potential opportunities. They don't sound very salesy when they speak to people, so I'm impressed with that. It's more conversational. And so that gets the foot in the door, and I think that's wise to do it that way. Do I think cold calling is dead? No, I absolutely do not. I will say it's akin to finding a porcupine in heat. and that's only once a year, so you better take the opportunity when it's there. You're fortunate to knock on the right door, or make the right call at the right time when someone is in pain. But no, I actually spoke with someone the other day who said, if you just called us 3 months earlier, we would have changed our IT to you. And so cold calling is not dead. It's really a timing thing and the approach. And if you can get past all the spam blockers and the gatekeepers and doing it creatively, I think you can open doors still. Yeah, our rep is Mason. He's been fantastic for us. He works with Christian as well. So I think we've got more of a 1-2 punch working for us here now, and that's great. They're very receptive to feedback, and I find that valuable. And then they follow that feedback. So that's really a huge benefit to us. They've been really warm, proactive, communicating often, and their follow-up is great. So I'd say the traction that we're receiving has really turned up in the last 2 quarters, last 6 months. Again, I'm going to fall back and say that a lot of the responsibility on less success at the beginning of the relationship was on our approach. So I know that it was our approach that didn't yield a lot of wins. Again, I'm involved now, and so when the leads are thrown over, they're going to get a different set of attention from my side. Arsenal can only send so many leads, and if they're not followed up with well, then that could be on the MSP, or in this case, us. Now that I'm involved and our annual goal was to add 50,000 in monthly recurring revenue, we're already at 18,000, and I think we're about to sign another deal that'll put us at 25 next week. And our pipeline of presented opportunities is just huge. We're on the trajectory to hit our annual goal in the next 6 weeks. So before Q2 is over, half a year, we will have hit our annual goal of 50,000 MRR. Yeah, so I think our pipeline has easily another 50 to 60,000 out there in the pipeline. And again, we've complemented the cold call efforts with billboard campaigns in the area and poster boards. So that's helping. We've also been targeting customers and sending mailers, physical mailers, blanketing our local area. And when Arsenal ends up calling one of these targeted customers, or they've seen our billboard, they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of Elevated. We'll talk to you. So it's funny, they might be right on the precipice of thinking of us, and the phone call from Arsenal pushes them to that next step. Okay, so one of the leads we're most interested in and excited about is an elderly care facility that is real close to closing. I think that's going to be another 7,000 or 8,000 a month in recurring revenue, if I recall correctly. And we've done our presentations. It was intimidating initially. We walked in and there were 9 people around the table, and just the 2 of us. So that was great to experience. I will say they've called our referrals and they love them. So that one is real close to closing within the next 2 weeks is what I'm told. So I think that one's a 90% plus chance of winning. Yeah, so the adjustments I've made to increase our sales conversion rate are less about the Arsenal relationship and more about our internal approach to those deals. So instead of my chief operating officer going to these sales opportunities, it's me. So I'm received differently as the owner of a company. Then I pull in my chief operating officer after for tech evaluations and technical contact, second or third visit, and it's a 1-2 punch that's helped. We've also changed our support plan. We've revised our support plan a number of times in the last 6 to 8 weeks since I've been involved more with sales, and we've added a co-managed plan. We've tightened our pricing. There were some mistakes that I had to fix, and it brought our pricing more in line with what customers were hoping for. So we're definitely converting more customers because of that approach. And then you couple that with our best practices report, which is 252 questions. And this is, again, where we set ourselves apart from other MSPs for sure. Every customer gets a best practices report. That best practices report is completed every single month by my team on purpose. And then we review those findings with the customers every 3 months in a VCIO meeting. That is definitely our superpower, and it's driven down the noise at customer sites considerably. We don't put out fires anymore. There's no emergencies. And because of the proactive nature of our best practices peace of mind support plan, that those changes and now that that's a well-oiled machine has been really beneficial, and we're winning more deals as a result. So a great question about hiring versus outsourced to a company, well, to Arsenal specifically. I've tried to hire salespeople. I actually have a sister company. It's a software company, and we had salespeople there. It's not easy to train salespeople and have them deliver high results all the time. I'm really happy with outsourcing versus full-time employees that don't work out or work out for a year and then tail off. So I'm really glad to have this relationship. I believe the value is there, and it's an easy cost to justify as the leads convert. So originally I was flat rating it at the beginning of the relationship because monetarily I was concerned that we would convert so many, I'd really pay a lot out. We've changed to rev share, and so I'm excited by that. I'll probably be less excited as the wins happen, but I'll be excited for the wins, but I'll be less excited to pay out the wins. But I understand that rev share should inspire these salespeople even more to crank it up and go after it. So I'm excited about that. We chose rev share. Yeah, I will tell you that who was the name of the company I used 6 years ago? I won't say it. I won't say the name of the company, but boy, I was not impressed when I listened to the recordings of their calls and how they represented us. It was abysmal at best, and we got no leads whatsoever. So that was an outsourced sales company I fired after about 8 months of wasted money, to be honest. So Arsenal's definitely much better. I think I need to spend time with my sales team. I've brought some more materials with me to further train them on the elevated difference and why they should be excited to talk to leads about us. That's my responsibility, and I haven't done that yet, right? I had trusted internal resources at my company to educate Arsenal and train their team up. I think that they need some Tom time, just to be honest, and to show them our product again in person. So that's why I'm here today, and that's what Arsenal can do better, but it starts with me training. We are now on pace together to start achieving these goals. Again, we're adding 50,000 in MRR this year. I believe we'll hit it by the end of Q2 with the funnel pipeline and our current progress of 18,000 plus deals on the verge of closing. So yeah, we're gonna hit our goals. I just expect to keep the foot on the gas. And so I want to blow out the whole Harrisburg, Pennsylvania market. And then there's a chance we'll move into other similar markets within an hour and a half of our location. So I think there's some saturation we can do here as we take customers from regular IT support to Elevated's best practices approach and model. And we are a world-class IT organization. Last time I checked, there were 43,000 IT companies in America alone. There's only about 400 who do what we do, and we're definitely in the top 10% of those 400. So I think Arsenal, once they get that knowledge completely understood, will have more success in opening doors for us. And again, that's on me for training. I'm in a group, an accountability group of business owners in technology. We meet in Orlando every 3 months. And so I've recommended Arsenal to them as well. So I have encouraged other IT companies to use Arsenal. So I would recommend them to other companies that are not my direct competition in my area. And I've always promised that should this work, I'll plug them in with my second company, the sister software development company, that we'd send them those opportunities too. So I'm really hopeful that we continue on the right page and just light the world on fire, because I'd like to plug in my second company with Arsenal too. I would tell them, don't follow my original approach of hands off. They got it. And because even if they're a professional organization, they need trained on how your business delivers the product. And so they really need to be intimate with what we do and how we're different. I'm not normal IT. You can't just speak of us like we're normal IT. So that was on me. I would say if you're going to use an outsourced team, that it's a teamwork between the two organizations and you don't let them down. So that's what I would encourage people to do, is you got to step into it hard. Yeah, special shout out to Mason, stepping in with Christian and helping to get us on track and humming again. I'm impressed with the big save. Like, again, it wasn't going well early. We had some tough conversations, and they doubled down. They owned it. That was a big deal to me, that they owned it, and they committed additional resources and turned this thing around. So they earned our trust back.